本栏目由长荣房地产公司冠名播出，感谢开市达国际集团、盛达地产特别赞助播出。
大家好，我是 Mark Lee， 我在大华府做房地产的经营投资有20多年经验，我的业务覆盖马州、维州和 DC。我们公司的主要专长是 REO、Auction、Foreclosure、Short Sale、Tax Sale 等等。我们公司提供从购买、经营到售后出租一条龙服务。有意跟我们合作的当地和海外的投资人，请致电301-592-7550。
So I will talk quickly about what I do with Ming and Mark. As I said, I'm specialized only in bank-owned and investment. Okay, we have a lot of foreclosures. So because I deal almost 99% of my business is all with banks. I worked over the year for the past 15 years. I worked with over 15 banks, and now the climate is changing. So before, when the market collapsed, what happened is every bank was selling their own foreclosure. Well, they're not selling their own foreclosure. It's a different class that I can talk about how the bank exchange foreclosures. Because by law, if let's say Bank of America owning my house, if they're gonna foreclose on my house, they cannot profit from my house. So what they do, they go to the courthouse. Bank of America have 100 houses, Wells Fargo have 100 houses, they exchange the houses. Wells Fargo get the houses from Bank of America get the houses from Wells Fargo. They buy them in the courthouse and then they put them on the market. So technically, Bank of America did not benefit from the foreclosure, Wells Fargo and Wells Fargo vice versa. So it's a complicated process. They were under so much scrutiny from the government, and so many states sued the bank. For now, there is a lawsuit that just finished in LA for $170 million for Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Citibank. Okay, they just finished that lawsuit. So there was a lot of stuff going on. Because of that, now I know for sure I did it. The bank gave me houses, we sold them. Some of the houses, they weren't worth the value. Like in Germantown, Cinnamon Woods, I don't know if any of you know Cinnamon Woods. We sold houses for $200 that are worth $150. And you're all gonna tell me, how did you do it? Where is the appraisal? There was no appraisal. Because Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they control the whole market. They did a program. Freddie Mac did Home Steps, Fannie Mae did Home Path, and they were selling the houses with no appraisal. And if there was another program with appraisal, the appraisal have a different guidelines. So you see where we are coming. Most of the houses that I sold, and I knew, and I kept telling everyone around me, those houses that I am selling, because of the type of programs that we sold those houses, I knew for sure that 45% of those houses are going to end up in foreclosures again. And sure enough, ironic enough, I sold a house 3 years ago in 2014, and that house foreclosed in 2015. So the owner bought the house, lived in the house for 2 years, but never made any payment. Never made any payment.
Okay.
It was foreclosed on, and then HUD took over. They gave it to me. I resold it again. So we have a lot of crazy stuff going on in the market. Everyone is asking me, are we going to have the same crash that happened in 2007? And I'm going to say no. We have maybe worse crash, but we're not going to see it in the same form. They evolve, they change their strategy, and the banks are trying not to sell their foreclosures directly to you. They're not trying to do foreclosures anymore. What they are doing, they are taking the loan. Let's say Bank of America have 50 loans that no one is paying on it. They're not doing foreclosure. They're not going to the court and doing foreclosure. They are taking those 50 loans and they are going and telling hedge funds, hey, do you want to buy those loans from me? Let's say if each loan worth 100,000, if the loan was for a house on 100,000, they are telling them, hey, we're going to give you that loan for 25,000 or 50,000. Just buy it from us. Take it out of our hand. So this is what's happening right now. And because of that, there are very big hedge funds all over the United States that are controlling this. We have two things going on in the United States right now. As I said, the only thing I do, no one sees me here much. The only thing I do, I'm jumping from one conference to another. I mean, one day in Texas, second day in Las Vegas, third day in California, going to all the conferences, meeting all the hedge funds, meeting all the banks. So I try to gather information about what's going to happen next so I can prepare my agent, and so we all can be prepared to tell our client the information. When I started doing foreclosures, when I started doing what I did, it was in 2005. I remember I live in North Potomac, a house next to me, I showed it to my client. Someone paid $106,000 above asking. During that time, I went to the first REO conference with the bank. It was in Irvine, California. And I was talking to the bank manager, and I said, you know what? I didn't know how we can have foreclosures in my area. We have 13 buyers for 11 buyers actually in Montgomery County for every house. In Fairfax County, we had 13 buyers for every house. I said, how can we have a foreclosure? So this is when I started. And she said, just watch and see. And that person that I met in 2005, she's my partner now in California. She's a big bank manager, and she's partnering with me in California. We are doing the same thing, what we do here. So, we don't know what's going to happen. The market is hot again. However, there was something else happening. We have a lot of hedge funds that are buying the houses, buying the notes from the bank. But that's not only it. In Bush, 2 years before he left the office, this is exactly 10 years ago, actually 1 year before he left the office to be exact, he made a program. Because the economy was collapsing, everything was collapsing, the banks are about to collapse because every single bank, they are I don't know if you are all familiar with FDIC. So every bank is insured with FDIC, which means if something happened, the government can come and take over this bank. The government cannot take over any more banks. They already started taking over. The FDIC went 5 times bigger than its size. I met the head of the FDIC. We were talking. So that's why they changed the regulation. During Bush, they changed the regulation. There was regulations for the bank that says any bank within 9 to 12 months, if they have what they call non-performing loans, they have to tell the government. Or the FDIC. So those percentage, if it goes above 15%, then the FDIC job between 15 to 20%, they have to go take over that bank. So the FDIC, we are here, we're not here like the China, the way the country run here is not like the way the Chinese run the country. The government wants control over everything. Here is the opposite. The government doesn't want to take over everything because then they will be in a different position. So they saw themselves trapped into taking over a lot of banks. We have 8,065 banks throughout the United States, and 35% of those banks were in trouble, and the FDIC was supposed to take over. So Bush said, I can't take over all those banks. We need money, we need power, we can't do that. So they create this regulation that I told you about. So they went to Wall Street and they told them, hey guys, you're the investors in Wall Street, come over. If you can create a hedge fund and you can create a $20 million that people will invest in your hedge funds, the government is going to give you 40 million on top of that. You don't have to return it to the government, but we're going to give you that 40 million, and we're going to give you all these foreclosed houses, but you cannot sell them on the market. You have to take them and keep them. So that's what they did. So those hedge funds, they were Black Knight, Dakota, Faye, there were like 8 or 9 of them. I am in contact with 3 of those hedge funds. Okay, so those hedge funds went and they bought the foreclosed houses. So suddenly, those banks that they had thousands and thousands of houses that are foreclosed suddenly are not there. Who took them? Those hedge funds took the foreclosure. They don't care even if those houses collapse, they still making money. I mean, the government gave them double the amount of the money and told them, don't return it to us. It's yours. But those houses are yours too. So that's what happened. So now the time come for those hedge funds to cash on those houses. Bush told them you cannot sell it for 7 to 10 years. Each hedge fund has a different setup depending on the size of the pools that they bought from the government. Now it's time, and those hedge funds are out and they want to sell their houses. But that's not only it. Those hedge funds want to sell the houses, and at the same time, all those bad loans that we did during the collapse, all these programs that the Democrat did during the collapse, they are shut down all. So when I was in a conference in September, and I was, going from booth to booth talking to people, like there were like 3 or 4 people that I talked to that they are the head of different programs, and they were all telling me, we are on the edge, we don't know. December, in November we will know, but by the end of the year, our programs are going to be shut down if Trump take over. So we have all this going on. We have the hedge funds. I work with 2 hedge funds. They are giving me houses. I have now, from one hedge fund, I have, I think, 12 houses. We are repairing those houses, and supposedly they're going to go on the market. So this is one hedge fund. We have another hedge fund that they don't want to repair. They just want to put them back on the market, sell them as is. Okay, those are all abandoned houses that they were abandoned for the past 8 to 10 years. Okay, so we have those people that they are getting their houses out there, and then we have all the loans that were done between 2010 and 2012. Those loans were not a very good loans. The government was saying, here, you take 8,000, we're giving you a grant, go buy a house. Here, you take, City of College Park had a grant. PG County, they had NSP program. Every county had different programs that they did. But all those loans are going to come back. So now, I went even in Santa Monica in California, I went about a month and a half ago. I went to a conference where, the hedge funds were sitting there exchanging loans, like they were auctioning their loans. Even if they auctioned it, no matter how much they sold it for, they still made money, because if you buy a house that is worth $60,000, but you paid only $20,000 for it, because the government gave you $40,000, you're still making money. Even if you sell it for $30,000, you're still making money. So we have all this going on. We don't know, all of us right now, almost we don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, I am registered, like I'm daily, I spend like at least half an hour to 1 hour every morning contacting different banks and contacting different and seeing where is the conference going, where is any information, any meeting going so I can go to. I need to know ahead of time. At this point, we don't know. We may go up, but we may go down. But what I can tell you that I know for sure, Trump has a different idea about the recovery of the housing. Okay? So he's going to handle this in a way, way different way than it was handled in the past 8 years. He's not going to give out programs. He's not going to do that anymore. As Mark stated, and the attorney stated, Trump is very business-oriented. And because he's very business-oriented, his approach is going to be way different. Okay? In my opinion, and I can be wrong, but I think in my opinion, his approach will let the market recover the right way. That's his approach. We already see that the interest rate started to go up a little bit. So regardless of every information I told you, which 99% of the agents, they don't know this information. But my agent know that information because my agents are with me. You know, they go with me, we go to conferences, I bring the information to them. Okay? So we are a selective group, we are a small company, but I'm not interested to be Remax. I'm not interested, we are interested to be a small company that has all the information, that can bring to everyone something that all the people don't know. That's what I'm interested to do. And that's how I was successful, because I did stuff that no one else did. I was preparing myself where no one else was prepared. Okay? So that's what's happening. This is one side of I'm talking about the residential market. Now, on the other hand, we have the commercial market. And again, no one is paying attention to the commercial market and what's happened. During 2005, there was the height of the market. So during that height of the market, every investor on Wall Street wanted to make money out of this market. So what they did, they created, again, a lot of hedge funds, and they were buying all those big shopping centers, hotels, buildings. There was a hotel in, what was it? On one island, I think Kenyan Island. It's a Chinese company that, it was an American company. It foreclosed $300 billion. It's a big resort. It's there. The hedge funds from New York foreclosed on it. Chinese company took over. I think they had very bad management, and now it's out there, it's going to foreclosure again. They can't handle it because this was a big casino, a resort. It's an island, it's a whole island, a casino resort. And I'm following on that to see, how it's going to be handled. Okay, but back again to the commercial market. So all those big hedge funds, they bought a loan. So when we buy a loan to buy a house, our loan is 30 years loan. We can get 15 years, but most of our loans are 30 years, 20 years, or 15 years. But that loan is divided for 15 years. By 15 years, if you pay your loan, that's it. It's not a balloon loan. However, the commercial, it's different. You buy a loan, you take a loan, and that loan is due in 7, 10, I think, or 7 to 10 years. But then when it's due, you have, let's say, just to make it simple, let's say you bought a house, you bought a building for $1 million, okay? So you take a loan on that building. During the first 7 years, you pay installment. However, when the 7-year ends, you have a big balloon loan, probably it's $600,000-$700,000 that you have to pay back. Because this is a commercial, they think that, because of the rent that they get and everything, they may be able to improve the building or do something. So by the end of the 7 years, they will have good equity, then another bank will be able to give them a loan for that balloon, or they will collect enough money that they pay the balloon and they don't care about. However, that is not happening because the market was very high. It crashed down in 2007 and now it's going up. Even if the market went up to the same level when they bought this investment, guess what? If they come to sell that investment, they can't sell it because they have to pay taxes, they have to pay real estate fee. I mean, the real estate fee can be a loan like for $1 million can be a loan for like 100,000. This is a commercial, okay? So they can't sell it. And the banks are coming and telling them, hey, we want our loan. This is balloon loan. You have to pay me. Those investors, they don't have the money to pay that loan. So we have about 1.9 trillion that I know of that, the FDIC are acknowledging to just certain elite, society that is going to be a foreclosure because those investors, Wall Street investors, they don't have the money to pay the balloon loans anymore. So that's what's happening. We don't know what Trump is going to do. All those loans that were done in 2005 and 2000 to 2007, now it's the 10 years. 2017 is the 10 years. Now is the time for the balloon payment. We don't know what's going to happen. If those balloons collapse, if those hedge funds, they can't pay the balloon, that's it. All this is going to be foreclosures. So that will affect the housing market a little bit. So if we will know more in the next, I will say 30 to 2 months. Hopefully we will know more how Trump will be handling the market. But that's where we are standing. I can't tell you what's going to be next. I don't know. I wish I know. I would have been a billionaire if I know. But that's what's going on. So, with that said, we have to weigh our ways of buying and doing stuff. Okay, so the next 30 days to 60 days is going to be very crucial for anyone that wants to invest in the real estate. We could either make a lot of money, buy stuff, and the market go up just because the confidence that Trump is going to bring more business to the country, that may happen, or he may adjust it. We don't know. We are waiting to see how it's going to be. So according to when he takes office, what kind of stuff he's going to start doing, we will know more how the market is going to be. But that's where we are standing. We have hedge funds for the residential and hedge funds for the commercial, and we will see how it's going to be. Do you have any question?
Yeah. Question. So for our individual investors, do you suggest we should wait for a while, 1 or 2 months, to see what's going on?
That is a very good question, and I wish I can tell you a definite answer. I can't tell you a definite answer because I don't know.
Yeah.
I am myself don't know. I am trying to buy a house in California, and I'm sitting here. Should I buy? Should I wait? I'm here actually, and my husband and my son, they are going, searching for houses, and they are calling me. Oh, we want to buy this, and I'm like, really? My husband is like, I love this. I want to buy it, and I'm like, really? I don't know. I am in the same boat as you. I am trying, as I said, I try to go to as many conferences as possible. I try to meet as many people, and I try to get the feed, but everyone is telling me what they see, but no one can tell me what is the regulation is going to be. If the interest rate went up more, definitely the housing is going to drop a little bit. But if Trump went and tried to save some of those hedge funds that they own all the commercial, then then we will be not in a too bad shape. But if he decided, let's correct the market once and for all, because remember, Trump was against the way that was done in the past 8 years. he was against the way they corrected the market because he told them that was a false recovery. It wasn't a good recovery. That was his way. But again, I don't know. He may see that, okay, I need to make sure not to let the economy collapse. But on the other hand, he has a plan to spend, I think, over $100 billion on infrastructure repairs. So all that money that he's gonna put in there to spend it on repairing bridges, repairing streets, doing update for all our system, that money is gonna pump the economy. But yet, we don't know yet how it's gonna happen. I think, we will be in somewhere in the middle because he's gonna dump money somewhere to improve our infrastructure. So even if something happened in the real estate, even if the interest rate went up, I mean, the economy is not going to have a bad collapse if he's dumping so much money to generate work. So, and I believe, even with all the rhetoric that everyone is saying, and even though he's not very fan of the Chinese president, I believe that because he's a very business oriented, that it's on the opposite. He may expand the investment visa, that he may not control it, he may expand it for businesses and for investment. So that's what I think is going to happen. Because if he expanded, actually, that may upset the Chinese government. And, I don't know, but, I hear talks. I have him on my phone. I try to get all his tweets. I try to get all his tweets to learn what, to see, he's talking strongly to China now. How is that going to affect our investment and the EB5, visa and stuff? We don't know, but hopefully we will be doing this again. I'm trying to, on the 26th, I am part of ARIA. I don't know if any of you are familiar with ARIA. ARIA is Asian American Association of Realtors. It's in California, so I will be. We have a small mini conference to talk to the agents. I will be talking to them, explaining to them about the REO and how it's done and all this stuff, preparing those agents so they have information to give to their buyers. So I'll see. I mean, after that, we are in that conference. I'm supposed to meet one is one of the head person for Freddie Mac, and I think to Chase. So hopefully we'll get more information. Do you have any other question? But you can call me. You can call Ming, Mark. They are my top agents. They are the best agents ever. They have a great information. You can call any of us for any question, and we will be doing another session. Hopefully next time we will do the session, I will have better information for you. And I'm going to introduce to you, we have Rich. He owns a lending company, and they are doing a lot of different programs. So he will talk to you in case that you want to know about what programs going on, because that is going to affect your investment too. If you have a house and you're going to put on the market and you get a buyer, if you know about his program, then you can tell the buyer, hey, you can buy this house, you can do it this way, you can do it that way. So knowing that information is great for you too. So I'll let him, Rich, I'll let him speak to you, okay?
物格，知止，意 一城，新政，长荣地产。
地产理财、移民留学，开始达国际集团。
追求卓越，盛达地产。